Hello and welcome to Big Orbit's Cardfight Vanguard weekly update. My name is James and today I'll be going through the cards shown throughout the past 7 days. To start off, we have the RR Grade 3 for Dark Irregulars, Demon Eater. She's the Dark Irregulars guard restrictor that's been a norm for Protect clans. Her first skill is Auto Vanguard Circle. When your Guardian is retired, you may put that card into your soul. This is a really good and efficient way to build up your soul, making sure no card goes to waste. Enguarding with Vucalicus becomes a soul charge of 2. Her second skill is Auto Vanguard Circle Rearguard Circle. When it attacks, cost counter +1, put one of the rearguard into your soul, draw a card, and until the end of the battle, this unit gets plus 10,000 power. And cost Soul Blast 10, and your opponent cannot call Sentinels from his or her hand. A Soul Blast of 10 is big, but you don't have to pay it to get the draw and plus 10,000 power, and putting Vucalicus into the soul this way, while she's on Vanguard Circle, gives her another plus 10,000 power, to be able to push for more pressure with denying your opponent's Sentinels. We may even drop zone recycling, as this is going to be putting a lot of cards in the drop zone over time. And with this being a Protect clan, you would expect that they want to go late game, so you need a recycler for the longevity of the match. Another grade 3 is the common Terrifying Fist. His skill is Auto Vanguard Circle Rearguard Circle. When it attacks Vanguard, Soul Charge 1, and this unit gets plus 5,000 power until the end of the battle. If the card that was Soul Charged was a Trig unit, this unit gets plus 10,000 power instead of plus 5,000 power. This is another really consistent way of soul charging, and could be a target worth trying to retire for your opponent, but it can take a lot of attention away from your Vanguard. He doesn't have the gift icon, but Protect usually use more grade 3s than normal, so 1 or 2 of this card could be really good in the deck for some big power and consistent soul charging. Verbear the Vulgar is a grade 2 with 8,000 power and skill of Auto Rearguard Circle. When it attacks Vanguard, cost counter +1, soul charge 1, and this unit gets plus 2,000 power until the end of the battle for each card in the soul. It may have lower than average base power, but depending on how far in the game you are, this unit can gain a huge amount of power. Just be sure to attack with this before you go into an attack with Demon Eater, otherwise his power will decrease significantly. Werwolf Freiwilliger is a grade 1 with Act Rearguard Circle. Cost, put this unit into your soul, soul charge 1, and one of your units gets plus 5,000 power until the end of turn. It is getting rid of 10k shield, but soul charging 2 is a big plus for Dark Irregulars, and you can use it the turn before activating Demon Eater to get that precious 10 cards in soul and to also increase their power. Lastly, for Dark Irregulars, we also have the vanilla Anomalous Esper with a 15k shield. Unfortunately for Murakumo, the only card we see this week is Stealth Beast a Head Panther, who is just a vanilla front trigger. Pale Moon got Dark Metal Bicorn, who is also a vanilla, their one being the grade 1 with 9,000 power and no shield, but they also receive a grade 3, Comicality Chimera. Its skill is Auto Rearguard Circle. When it attacks, cost Soul Blast 1 and put another rearguard into the soul. This unit gets plus 5,000 power until the end of the battle, and if you have not countercharged this turn, countercharge 1. This is a good way to prevent any silly infinite countercharging loops for Pale Moon, but even without that, this unit is still good for preventing units from getting retired on your opponent's turn, as you will most likely be able to easily bring it out from the soul the next turn. And counterblasting is probably going to be a big cost of bringing new units from the soul, so this should be fine to use. And I'm also sure there'll be enough soul to spare for the soul blast cost. On to Shadow Paladin, we have 2 new RRs. The first one is Darkness Maiden Macha, a grade 2 with Act Vanguard Circle Rearguard Circle. Once per turn, cost counter +1 and call a grade 1 or less card from your hand to Rearguard Circle. Draw a card, and this unit gets plus 5,000 power until the end of the turn. This is similar to Royal Paladin's Alan, but as it's an act, you can use it each turn while she stays on the field for a consistent free unit and power gain. The draw especially is going to help, as there's a good chance you'll be retiring the called unit with Phantom Blaster Dragon when we finally see his skill. The second RR is Black Sage Charon. He's a grade with Auto Rearguard Circle. When placed due to the ability of one of your cards, cost Soul Blast 1, countercharge 1, and this unit gets plus 3,000 power until the end of the turn. This works with Macha and basically changes Macha's cost to a Soul Blast 1, which is a lot easier to manage. Charon can also activate from Badhab Ka if you're lucky enough to call him from the top of the deck. We've seen Major Destruction Vidlex ability before on a Royal Paladin card, but his skill is continuous rearguard circle. If you have 5 or more rearguards, this unit cannot be attacked. With his lower than average power and with the expectation of having to retire your units with PBD, I'm not sure how much use this guy will see, unfortunately. Fiery Knight Loig is a common grade 3 with a skill we've seen on the shadows already, auto rearguard circle. When it attacks Vanguard, this unit gets plus 3000 power until the end of that battle for each rearguard you have more than your opponent. This will be a lot more useful in a Dark Dictator build as a good backup grade 3. So it seems this is a good chance that shadows will be split into 2 decks. Speaking of the Dark Dictator, he has finally been shown off, and he has the very Alfred-like first ability of continuous Vanguard circle during your turn. This unit gets plus 2000 power for each of your rearguards, emphasizing the difference in gameplay between this and Phantom Blaster Dragon, making the Dark Dictator seem more like Royal Paladin. His second skill is act Vanguard Circle once per turn, cost counter +1 and call up to 1 grade 2 or less card from your hand to Rearguard Circle, and that unit gets plus 5000 power until the end of the turn. Your opponent chooses one of his or her rearguards and retires it. This is another way to activate Charon's countercharge. You don't get a draw, but the retire equals a similar goal by either weakening your opponent's next turn or by them losing more cards in hand to replenish their field. And very lastly, we have Dark Shield MacLear, who is the RR draw trigger perfect guard for Shadow Paladin. Also, Big Orbit will be hosting a CFV tournament at TCG Con at Stratford-upon-Avon in the UK on August the 18th. As well as a standard and premium tournament for Vanguard, we will also be hosting tournaments for Final Fantasy TCG and Dragon Ball Super TCG on the 18th and 19th. The links for more information and to buy the tickets will be in the description. Please let me know your thoughts on the new cards. There was yet again a large amount of Shadow stuff this week, but they've gone through most of their high rarity stuff now, so we should be focusing on other clans next week. Plus next week we will likely be seeing Golden Beast Tamer, who is the VR for Pale Moon. I hope to see you next week when I'll be going through the cards shown throughout the next 7 days. Bye.